IACC, established in 1968, the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, is a non-government industry-led and industry-managed organization playing a proactive role in India's development process and serves as much needed link between the business communities of India and the United States of America. IACC is the ABEC's Bilateral Chamber of Commerce in India, which is committed to development of Indo-US business and trade relations. Today, this Kongu region is so fortunate to have this meet with all such dignitaries, and for this spectacular session, we are looking forward. We are also streaming this event live and people across the globe connected via Zoom. A proud day indeed as we inaugurate the IACC Roadshow at our city today with the grace of Almighty. We have Ms. Judith Ravin, U.S. Consul General Chennai with us to inaugurate the stalls. Ma'am, we kindly request you to cut the ribbon and officially inaugurate the stalls.
Yeah, we would love to learn more about how you guys are working with businesses. So, we're always looking for good Indian companies to connect our U.S. companies with, and in turn also help Indian companies get offices in the U.S. So,
these are all the markets, dynamic marks of the year. Whenever you travel over there, some of these space programs also. And this majority is at the state.
we would do that in conjunction with my colleagues in our econ section. We both cover space, but in different realms of space. And so I'd be happy to have a more in-depth conversation.
He's the German group.
I know he's part of your Great.
But we have an office in UK and in Chennai.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we do is we make propulsion systems, electric systems for drones, as well as cars, EVs, and also for we do water pumps, manufacturing. Yeah.
Well, your endpoint is for plastic pumps.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like product has
Okay.
You have to be careful not to play favorites. Is his family, yeah.
She's my daughter, she's my wife.
Nice to meet
She
you.
completed her master's in communications. She's trying to stop. We take care of the business.
Yeah, wonderful.
How does it feel to come in and sort of like get
which we aspire to cover in the next 2 years.
Let's put our hands together in welcoming all the dignitaries for the day. Our Chief Guest, U.S. Consul General Chennai, Ms. Judith Ravin. Dr. A. Shaktivel, President FIO and Chairman Government Affairs Committee, IACC. Mr. Gaurav Daga, Associate Vice President, Guidance, Tamil Nadu. Mr. Prabhu Bala. Mr. Sanchay Jayavarthanavelu. Mr. Arun Miranda. Mr. K. Ramaswamy, Chairman Roots Group of Companies, and Dr. S. Chandrasekhar. Our District Collector will join us very shortly. To invoke the goddess of knowledge and wisdom and to seek blessings, we invite the dignitaries for lighting the lamp. Light is the symbol of brightness and prosperity. We request the dignitaries to be seated on the dais. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together in welcoming the dignitaries on the dais. Marvelous evening starts with Tamil Thai Valthu. So let's raise up for that. Atiti Devo Bhava, the richest tradition is to welcome the guest and honor them with utmost respect. To welcome all the guests for today, we have our most respected chairman, Roots Group of Companies, Mr. K. Ramaswamy, convener IACC Roadshow. Started a small company in 1970 with 3 employees. Now he has an empire with 4,000 employees and he has 40% of his products exported to advanced countries, including United States. So we are so privileged to have you with us for the welcome speech.
Good evening to all of you. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming our chief guest, Ms. Judith Raven, the U.S. Consul General Chennai, and thank you for taking time to come over here and to be the chief guest. I also would like to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. G.S. Samiran. He is going to be here a little late due to some reasons he could not make it, but he is going to come. I would like to welcome Sri Sanjay Jayavathanavelu, Chairman and Managing Director of LMW, for accepting to be here to deliver his keynote address. I would also like to welcome Ms. Carrie Arun, the Principal Commercial Officer, American Consulate General Chennai, to talk about business opportunities available in the US. I also wish to welcome Mr. Paul Jito, Vice President, RGP, Northwest Ohio, Mr. Paresh Dalwala, Director Ops Business Inc., Mr. Rahul Padmanabh, Director of Investment, North Carolina, and Ms. Supriya Kanitkar, Director, Pennsylvania Trade and Investment, to talk about the business opportunities available in various cities in the United States. I wish to welcome Mr. Gaur Daga, Associate Vice President, Guidance, Tamil Nadu, who will be explaining about the investment opportunities available in the western part of this district of Tamil Nadu. It also gives me immense pleasure to welcome all the chamber and other association presidents and secretaries for making it possible. I have great pleasure in welcoming all the exhibitors and participants. Last but not the least, I also would like to welcome the press and the media for their presence. Kongu comprises Coimbatore, Pollachi, Palladam, Karur, Dharapuram, Tiruchengodu, Erode, Namakkal, Salem, Dharmaburi, Nilgiris, Avanasi, Satyamangalam, and Udumalpet. Tirupur contributes 54.2% of India's textile export and 90% of knitwear exports. This is up from 42.9% in 2016-2017. The statistics replicates across other industries too. Take, for example, the pump industry. As of 2021, Coimbatore alone contributes 55% of total pump production in the country. This is again up from 45% in 2018. When it comes to auto components, Coimbatore and Chennai combined makes up 35% of India's total auto component production. Running along the Kongu region is the Coimbatore, Tirupur, Erode corridor with over 45,000 manufacturing units across cross-section of sector, mostly in the MSME segment. Most of these units cater to both domestic and export segments. One of the biggest advantages of Kongu region's industrial manufacturing capabilities is its ability to cater to highly customized various field demands. This puts the region at a unique advantage of being able to support clusters for the defense, aerospace, precision engineering, and other niche segments such as textile, especially technical textiles also. India's Ministry of Commerce and Industry latest data shows that US has become India's largest trading partner, exceeding China with bilateral trade reaching $119.42 billion US dollars. India's export to US increased from about $51.62 billion US dollars in the previous fiscal year to $76.11 billion US dollar, an increase of over 47%. Similarly, import also increased over 49% from about 29 billion to 43.31 billion US dollars. These figures can be increased multifold, especially considering the world's dependence on China to manufacture products slowly waning. India can easily make use of the multiple resources and capabilities to step up and offer its production and products and services. US also offers a good opportunity not only to export and to import, but also to invest. For your information, one of our group companies, Roots Multigrain Limited, took over a US company manufacturing road sweepers back in 2017. I'm very happy to inform you that the sales have increased from $3.85 million to $8 million. We have almost doubled the sales in 5 years. Manpower has gone up from 16 to 27. Our experience of running operations in US is really a pleasant one. We are in fact going to expand. We are going for a larger land and going to expand our operations. Purpose of IACC organizing this roadshow is to connect Kongu region and US to improve our trade and investment both ways. Other speakers are going to elaborate on this. Hence, I would like to end my speech by saying I am optimistic that if only we put in our best efforts, we can really double our trade with US in a short time. Thanking you all. I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. To take us through the roadshow, we have our beloved Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, Corporate Director, Roots Group of Companies. 40 plus years of rich experience in administration, operations, strategic sourcing, marketing. He is a PhD in operation management. Sir will now present the overview of roadshow.
Good evening to the dignitaries on and off the stage. If there's any measure of the success here to look at how the program goes well, like the size of the audience completely filled up with all the tables full, and by the number of registrations we had on, as of now, is about 110 for a hall of 80 or 90. So thank you very much for all of you coming here. My sincere thanks to IACC Tamil Nadu for giving me this great opportunity to coordinate this unique IACC Roadshow in Coimbatore. IACC Tamil Nadu wanted to have an event being done in Coimbatore. Sri K. Ramaswamy, member of the branch committee of IACC Tamil Nadu and chairman Roots Group of Companies, had suggested that this event be taken up as a kind of a roadshow in Coimbatore, which would showcase the capability of products and services of the entire western district of Tamil Nadu, also fondly known as the Kongu region, where we all belong to. He had strongly felt that such a roadshow will connect this select region with the US industry and trade. With this in mind and in the background, this IACC Roadshow Coimbatore has been organized. We have in this process established a website www.iacckonguconnect.com, which will be a permanent database of manufacturers from this focus region with complete product service details. Participants can enroll themselves and make use of the opportunity to get the product and services appear in this permanent marketplace. This focus region specializes in general engineering, including pumps, motors, and valves, mining equipment, textiles, including home, technical, and medical textiles, knitwear and garments, gems and jewelry, coir and agro products, egg and poultry, auto components, ferrous and non-ferrous castings, healthcare, information technology, and information technology-enabled services, and so on, the list goes. This event would enable the IACC members and non-members from this region to showcase their products and as well as interact with customers from the United States of America for the spectrum of requirement with respect to their specific areas of operations. This is going to be a hybrid model show involving physical as well as virtual participation by buyers, sellers and investors from both the regions. As a part of this roadshow, we have an exhibition for physical exhibits, catalog exhibits, demonstration for a few participants. We're also planning for a virtual exhibition as well as the virtual catalog show in the near future. We are sure and confident that this roadshow and the exhibition complementing it will be a platform to promote Indian-American business and to facilitate buyers, sellers, investors from both sides for the above products and services. We are proudly launching an exclusive website today as named above by the golden hands of the Consul General, Madam. This will be a gateway for the exporters region to get their products registered, showcased, and marketed to the world's largest economy, the USA. I'm sure that this effort put up by IACC Tamil Nadu is unique and is going to set a standard and become a benchmark for roadshows expected to be taken up by other IACCs across the country in future, sir. I wish to thank Sri Kishore Jayaraman, President, India and South Asia, Rolls-Royce, who is here to be part of us, Captain Vikram Mahajan, Head Government Relations, Community Investment, India, South Asia, Rolls-Royce, and Ms. Narayan Tirumurti, CEO of Maximpex India, who have been my greatest support in collecting information about the potential participants and users from the United States. I would like to bring on record the support given by Dr. Alamelu, Principal, Ramakrishna College of Engineering, and Dr. Mary Matilda, Head of Management Department, for their timely support in collecting the primary data from lots of sources. I wish to thank Mr. Arun Miranda, Chairman IACC, Ms. Sujata, Regional Director of IACC, and our colleagues for their excellent cooperation through this period, for the entire process. My sincere thanks to my senior colleague, Dr. O.A. Balasubramaniam, and my other colleagues, Dr. Raj Ganesh and Ms. Dinesh from the Roots Group, who have been the real field force and who had spent the midnight oil to make this roadshow as to what we all see in its full form. My deepest and most heartiest thanks to go to all the participants here in exhibits, both physical and virtual, who have joined us today, respecting and honoring our invitation. I'm sure that you'll have an excellent interactive session with a lot of takeaways. Thank you once again. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, with utmost gratitude and happiness, we welcome Mr. Arun Miranda, Chairman and Managing Director, Astrotech Steels Limited, Chairman IACC Tamil Nadu, and eminent speaker at various international economic, industrial, and educational forums. Sir, we are waiting to hear from you.
Thanks for the generous introduction. Good evening and greetings from IACC Tamil Nadu branch. Dear dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries seated in the audience, all the participants present here and participants present in the virtual mode. First of all, a big welcome and thank you for participating in this unique event. A special mention goes out to Ms. Judith Ravin, the Consul General of USA in Chennai, and Ms. Carrie Arun, Counselor for Commercial Affairs, and Sham Samsudeen, Commercial Specialist, for accepting IACC's invitation and traveling all the way to Coimbatore to be physically present here. To be honest, your presence truly makes this event a really valuable one. It increases our value proposition. And I must mention to the audience here, the CG's office in Chennai has always been a pillar of support and encouragement for IACC. We keep troubling them for anything and everything, but they are very patient to deal with us. Thank you for that. For the benefit of the participants, I would just like to give a brief introduction about IACC, right? So the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, established in 1968, is the apex bilateral chamber synergizing India-US economic engagement. IACC was started by the US Ambassador Chester Bowles, along with the then industry leaders and visionaries like Mr. S.L. Kirloskar, Mr. Harish Mahindra, Mr. H.P. Nanda, Mr. Ambalal Kilachan, and Mr. A.M.M. Arunachalam, Mr. Frederick Fales, and Mr. John Orris for enhancing US-India economic engagement. Today, IACC has a pan-India presence with more than 1,700 members, representing a cross-section of US and Indian industry representatives. IACC is broadly divided into 4 regional councils, namely the Southern Council, Northern, Eastern, and Western Council. The reason I mentioned Southern Council first is because the largest membership is from the Southern Council. Not only that, it's heartening to note that the Tamil Nadu branch of IACC has the largest membership. And we have active programs throughout the year. And the Tamil Nadu branch of IACC operates out of a spanky office in Chennai, and this office also serves as the regional office for the South India Council. And we have Ms. Sujata Ravi Shankar seated here, the regional director for this region. And she's been serving IACC for more than 25 years. I think that deserves a round of applause. So IACC, like I mentioned before, promotes bilateral trade and investment, technology transfer, facilitates business collaborations, joint ventures, marketing tie-ups, and strategic alliances through a set of proactive business-oriented initiatives like seminars, webinars, training programs, conclaves that are held at regular intervals across a wide variety of sectors. IACC has also entered into MOUs with various trade bodies and chambers in the US, and therefore it gives IACC a leverage to work closely with US companies. Just to give you a flavor of some of the events conducted by the Tamil Nadu branch of IACC in the recent past, we did programs on medical devices, GST and central excise, IPR awareness, India-US defense collaboration, India-USA Trade Connect, which was a first of its kind virtual trade expo, Industry 4.0, green hydrogen, aerospace and defense, etc. Apart from these events, IACC also organizes regular business and networking delegations to the US, wherein they engage with the US counterparts in various sectors. A delegation is planned in November for the aerospace and defense sector. The recent geopolitical developments in the last few years and the global trade shifts has opened up new opportunities for companies in India that are engaged in manufacturing and services. At this point, it's worthy to refer to the famous economist Akamatsu's flying geese paradigm. This is a model which talks about the international division of labor in Asia based on dynamic comparative advantage, where the production of commoditized goods would continuously move to different regions over time. I think the last 5 years we've seen a huge shift of manufacturing towards newer horizons like Indonesia, Vietnam, and more so India. I think you would agree that we are probably experiencing the best period for Indian companies in the manufacturing and services sector. This is the first instance that IACC is hosting such a grand roadshow outside of its state secretariat. So why did IACC choose Coimbatore or Kongu region? It is a true fact that this important region has always been the leader when it comes to innovation, precision engineering, textiles, apparel, machinery building, foundries, and the list goes on. This region is the hotbed of engineering excellence from time immemorial. Coimbatore ignites the spark of entrepreneurship, and the recently familiar buzzword startup probably was prevalent in Coimbatore many decades back. Therefore, IACC Tamil Nadu branch were fully convinced that if we really have to work towards the goal of increasing and enhancing trade ties between India and US, we need to have a very active presence in the Kongu region. And that is why we decided to hold this roadshow. Many leading corporates from this region have been long-term members of IACC, and they've experienced the benefits of this association. Roots Group, Poppies Group, LGB are a few examples. It is also noteworthy to mention that stalwarts like Dr. Shaktivel, the president of Federation of Indian Exporters Organization, is also a past chairman of the IACC Tamil Nadu branch. Through this event, we would like to showcase our current initiatives and also provide you with a broad idea of the long-term advantages of being part of IACC. As the chairman of IACC Tamil Nadu branch, I would like to specially thank Mr. K. Ramasamy, chairman of Roots Group of Companies, and his able team led by Captain Dr. S. Chandrasekhar for taking complete responsibility in organizing this roadshow in Coimbatore. Thank you, sir. Without you, this wouldn't have been a reality. I think we should give him a big round of applause for this. And we have lined up some interesting sessions for you this evening, and we hope all of you benefit from the lectures, presentations, and networking sessions. And thank you for your participation.
Thank you so much, sir. We have the most iconic leader of Coimbatore, Chairman and Managing Director of Lakshmi Mission Works Limited, Mr. Sanjay Jayawardhanavelu, who is heading one of the major leading textile machinery manufacturers of the world. He is the Chairman of Citra, Uyir and Masonic Charity Trust. Sir will now present his keynote address.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ravin, friends. It gives me great pleasure to be with you here this evening at the opening of the Indian-American Chamber of Commerce, IACC Tamil Nadu's branch, first ever roadshow in Coimbatore. I would like to thank the IACC for inviting me, and I'm pleased to join you on this momentous occasion. Here again, I must thank the efforts of Mr. Ramasamy, who personally over the past month and a half has been in touch with every one of us, and I'm happy that it has been such a grand success. India and the United States have had a long history of cooperation and friendship. The relationship between the two countries have moved beyond symbolism that otherwise characterize the world's oldest and the largest democracy to more robust engagements. Today, we are strategic partners in the world arena as the two countries have shared values of democracy, diversity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We are also committed to making the world a better for the future generation. India has always been an essential partner for the US in addressing numerous global challenges. On the other hand, the US has always supported India's rise as a global power. While the political relations between the two countries are 75 years old, the vibrancy seen in our economic relationship is much shorter. Since India's economic liberalization in 1991, India and the US have been growing their business-to-business relationship based on principles of maintaining an open and integrated global economy. In a sign of deepening economic partnership between India and the US, bilateral trade in goods and services between the two countries has reached a record of 157 billion in 2021. Also, for India to achieve its target of a 5 trillion economy, the lion's share of FDI will need to come from the world's largest economy. While our business relationship today is strong and is paced right, there is always an opportunity to do more. In this sphere, organizations like the IACC has done yeoman service, and I'm sure will continue to help both these countries in building a stronger relationship. Economic exchange is a potent tool for improving the well-being of people. Also, the benefits of economic interactions are manifold. It can help improve business, create more significant economies, leading to prosperity and wealth. It also helps to exchange ideas and resources, leading to innovation and discoveries that can improve many people's lives. The exchange of goods and services can also lead to employment opportunities. I learned that this roadshow would be a platform to promote industries and trade between the western districts of Tamil Nadu with business from the United States of America. This roadshow has been aptly titled Connecting Kongu and American Business. The people of Coimbatore and the Kongu region of Tamil Nadu have a reputation of entrepreneurship. Since ancient times, this region has traded with other countries, and this tradition continues today. The economy of this region is robust and thriving with the presence of engineering, manufacturing, information technology, textiles, agro and dairy, and many such businesses and other such value-adding industries and services. Naturally, the interaction between the economically dynamic region and the world's largest economy will benefit each other. I take this opportunity to congratulate the entire IACC team for their foresight and efforts to organize this event in Coimbatore. I again want to thank you all for inviting me to this event. I am very much looking forward to learning more about the incredible work which all of you have done. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let us cross our fingers for the most awaited moment of the day, the official launch of Kongu Connect website. So we request our Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Judith Ravan, U.S. Consul General, Chennai, to click the link and officially launch the Kongu Connect website. So let us all put our hands together for this remarkable day and the event. Thank you so much, ma'am. I request Mr. Raj Ganesh, IACC Coimbatore team, to give an overview on this website.
Respected dignitaries on the stage and industry stalwarts present here, a very good evening to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this elite forum and brief you in a nutshell about this newly launched website, iacckonguconnect.com. As it is aptly named, the website would serve as a permanent database and a wonderful platform that would connect the potential business customers in the United States as well as the Kongu region. So this western districts of Tamil Nadu and potential buyers and sellers in the United States can immensely benefit out of this website, as it would have the database of potential customers on both the sides of the world. This website we have made a very simple yet interactive and easily navigatable website. We have already a few members who have registered to be a part of this website. We have renewable energy industry, we have companies from renewable energy, hydraulics, agro, IT consulting services, manufacturing, engineering, who are already a part of this website. We also have given a direct link which would take anyone who is visiting this website from here to IACC's website, IACC Indo-American Chamber of Commerce website directly. By clicking on this, it would be directly redirected to the IACC website. The benefits of joining this website would really help potential business customers to scale up their business, reach potential customers and showcase their products and services on both sides of the world. We have different companies who have already become a part of this. I will just share a sample of companies who are already a part of this. Companies like Avada Group, Agnia, Bharani Hydraulics, CRI Pumps from Coimbatore, and various other companies who are already a part of this. Just to show how a particular web page of a company would look like, I will take an example of a company by name Krish Carbon here. So as the company's name is Krishnaveni Carbon Private Limited, and the address of the company along with the key point of contact. Whoever is visiting this website can directly write or contact them, the right person of contact, and their website can be reached. Again, by clicking on this, it would be directly leading to their website. and the email address and the YouTube channel as well can be accessed from here. The list of products and services, top 5 or 6 products can be shown on this website. So people can easily access this and then see their category of products from this website directly. And they can also leave a contact us page is given here. They can leave their information. This page would be directly given to Krish Corbin or the respective company, wherein they can get the leads from United States and from India. Products catalog also can be downloaded from here. So it's easily navigatable. From here it can be taken to the next other industry in case they want to see. There is also a contact us page has been added to this website, where someone can leave their basic details, and these details would be forwarded to Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, and they would connect with you and facilitate you to become a member or put you onto the right industry that you wanted to be connected with. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So this is an auspicious time and moment, my dear ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome the chief guest for the day, the U.S. Consul General Chennai, Ms. Judith Ravin. She assumed this position during September 2020. As a Consul Chennai, she is responsible for advancing U.S.-India relations in the consular jurisdiction, covering Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and the 3 union territories of Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, and Pondicherry. Ms. Ravin joined the U.S. Department of State in 2003, following many years working in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Ma'am, we are so proud indeed to hear from you today.
Thank you very much. So thank you, Mr. Arun Miranda and the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce Tamil Nadu chapter for this invitation to join tonight's roadshow, which I've learned is also called Roadshow Kongu, of course, in Coimbatore. Dr. Simaran, IAS, District Collector of Coimbatore, thank you for joining us. It is always inspiring to connect with the entrepreneurial spirit of Coimbatore. Mr. Ramaswamy, convener of this roadshow and chairman of Roots Group, and Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, coordinator and corporate director of the Roots Group, and to your entire team, my congratulations to all for this well-organized roadshow. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Sanjay Jayavartha Navelu, Chief Managing Director, Lakshmi Machine Works Ltd, Dr. Sakivel, President, FIEO, Federation of Indian Export Organization, and Chairman, Government Affairs Committee, IACC Tamil Nadu, and Mr. Gaudav Daga, Associate Vice President, Tamil Nadu Guidance. And of course, Ms. Sujata Ravishankar, always present, I learned tonight, for a quarter of a century. Congratulations. It is a pleasure for my team and I to be back in Coimbatore. It was literally a year ago. And among changes between then and now, this year, I have the opportunity to introduce our Counselor for Commercial Affairs, Carrie Arun. Carrie, if you could stand up. Thank you. Carrie has been here for about a month, but I think you will find that she is a very warm person, highly dynamic and knowledgeable, and thank you for sharing your skills with all of us. And thank you for continuing to give the same support as her predecessor, Manoj Desai. I think you will find her positive energy contagious. And I'll get to you, Shyam, in one moment. This year, in addition to India's 75 years of independence, we also celebrate the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our great democracies. President Biden noted India and the United States are indispensable partners. The fuller description of the U.S.-India strategic partnership he explained as, and I quote, It is grounded in our shared commitment to the rule of law and the promotion of human freedom and dignity. Our partnership is further strengthened by the deep bonds between our people. The vibrant Indo-American community in the United States has made us a more innovative, inclusive, and stronger nation. The U.S.-India collaboration has been a transformational partnership. While strengthening the United States and India, it has also made the world a safer and more positive place as a result. Safer and more prosperous place as a result. The private sector in our countries is the engine driving that growth. Organizations like the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, IACC, are critical in developing business networks, and we value your role as an important voice for the Indian private sector. Our consulate team, including my U.S. Commercial Service colleagues, are working closely with many of you to support your business ventures. So we are also joined here today by our commercial specialist, Sham Shamsuddin, thank you, who is involved in the business promotion program called Select USA, as well as promoting a range of sectors: automotive, chemicals, construction, distribution and logistics, energy, marine technology, and smart cities infrastructure, and that is only a percentage of our team. U.S. Consulate General Chennai and the U.S. Commercial Service value your keen business insights, understanding of local business trends, and your willingness to share best practices for business success in Tamil Nadu. We look forward to further strengthening our partnerships, particularly in the areas of aerospace, information technology, education, manufacturing, energy, entrepreneurship, and climate change. Our bilateral economic and strategic engagement is flourishing, and there is growing enthusiasm from U.S. industry for entering the Indian market. Looking back over the past decade, we have made substantial progress in improving our trade ties. Two-way trade in goods and services between the United States and India reached more than $159 billion in 2021. And foreign investment has also risen to unprecedented levels. Foreign direct investment into the United States from India stands at $12.7 billion. And foreign direct investment from the United States into India is at $41.9 billion. We are grateful to IACC for the integral role it plays in advancing shared prosperity and goodwill between the United States and India. IACC has been instrumental in highlighting the ways in which Indian companies are making a difference in the United States and helping American companies active in India to communicate their concerns to government officials in the state. We deeply value IACC's leadership in ensuring that U.S. and Indian companies continue to play a central role in the region. Thank you, IACC, which is all of you, including those in the virtual world, for recognizing us, as in the U.S., as an important partner. We value this partnership and look forward to our continued collaboration. Once again, it is a pleasure to join tonight's ceremony and roadshow, and thank you for your contribution in strengthening US-India ties. My team and I look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are much honored today. To explain about the business opportunities with USA, we have our proud Kongu citizen, President Federation of Indian Export Organizations and Chairman Government Affairs Committee, IACC Tamil Nadu, Dr. A. Shaktivel, a Padma Shri awardee in the year 2009 by the central government in recognition of his exceptional service in exports sector. Sir, please.
Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's chief guest, Judith Ravin, and her colleague, commercial, Karen Arun, and also Siam from US embassies, and our president, Mr. Arun Miranda, the author of the Roadshow, my dear brother Ramu, and we all feel proud that icon of Kongu region, none other than my dear long friend Mr. Jayavardhanavel and Chandrasekhar, who has organized this wonderful show, and Vice Chairman Mr. Prabhu. Of course, Sujata name is always there for an IAC's dimension, and other speakers. So they gave me a topic, business opportunities. So the business opportunity is not from one side, it's from both sides. Business opportunities from India as well as from USA. The US-India strategic partnership is founded on a shared values, including a commitment to democracy and upholding the rules-based international system. The USA and India have shared interest in promoting global security, stability, and economic prosperity through trade, investment, and connectivity. The strong people-to-people ties between our countries reflected in the 4 million strong Indian-American diaspora and vibrant educational exchange between the two countries are a tremendous source of strength for strategic partnership. India is also one of the 12 countries partnering with the USA on India-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. It's called IPEF, to make our economics more connected, resilient, and clean and fair. The US-India most comprehensive strategic partner, and cooperation between these two extended across multiple areas such as trade, defense, multilateralism, intelligence, cyberspace, civil nuclear energy, education, and healthcare. The US has become India's largest trading partner, exceeding China with bilateral trade reaching USD 119.42 billion in 2021-22. From the breakdown data, India's goods export to the US increased from about 51.62 billion in the previous fiscal year to USD 76.11 billion, a growth rate of nearly 50%. While goods import increased from USD 29 billion to about to 43.32 billion, a growth rate of 48%. US accounts for 18% of our overall exports, and its share in India import is about 7%. India maintained a positive trade balance with the US, recording a surplus trade of 32.79 billion. In fact, as per the statistics, among India's top 10 trading partners, the US is the only country with India as a positive trade balance. Principal commodities exported by India to the US are precious and semi-precious stones, drugs, pharmas, petroleum products, cotton fabrics, garments, marine products, iron and steel products, electrical equipment, and auto components. Several factors like a high consumption-driven growth in the US, pent-up demand for items such as jewelry and electronics, diversification of supply chain of companies, etc., have contributed to this accelerated trend. Electronic component companies too have moved production to India. For example, Apple now exports 1 million smartphones from India to the US every month. India's import basket from the US primarily comprised of crude oil, which sized the largest share, along with other items like pearls, precious and semi-precious stones, petroleum products, coal, coke, organic chemicals, gold, paper and paperboard, machinery and electronics. The US is the fifth biggest source for foreign direct investment into India. Only Mauritius, Singapore, Netherlands and Japan have invested more FDI since 2000. The US also accounts for 1/3 of all foreign portfolio investment, that is investment in financial assets into India. The continuous strengthening of US-India trade relations is due to both the epidemic and India's attempt to decouple from China. India has accelerated the submission of Chinese industries. India wants to attract capital from the US to undertake high-tech investment, particularly in cutting-edge technology. We are looking for a major investment in 15 identified sectors of the latest PLI scheme announced by the Government of India. What we should do together? Strengthen and integrate global value chains, using FDI in each other's economics to strengthen bilateral trade, and integrate GVCs as well as incentives multinational corporations to participate in these initiatives. Work together to take bilateral trade goods and services to the 500 billion 2027, restore GSP benefits and start negotiating for a comprehensive trade partnership agreement, that is CECA or CEPA. Grant post-study visa of 2, 3 and 4 years to undergraduate, graduate and PhD holders. Now Australia, under the ECTA, they offered this. Enhance cooperation in emerging technologies and artificial intelligence as data regulations. Information sharing and privacy protection become increasingly salient issues crucial to the preservation of national security. Strengthen coordination multilaterally and also international issues, including prioritizing the two multilateral strategic dialogues that have gained prominence in recent years, the Quad and the West Asian Quad. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, my topic was both. So, India has got a lot of potential, same way USA also has got a lot of potential. I think that Karen Arun is going to talk about it. And India potential, the most knowledgeable person, Gaurav, is going to talk about it, especially what is the investment can be done in this area. Actually, this roadshow is a initiative of Arun Miranda, chairman, and the roadshow master is Mr. Ramaswamy and Chandrasekhar. And here I could see that all eminent personalities that you have come for this roadshow, and this roadshow definitely will increase our trade between both the countries. With this, I really appreciate all the people who are involved in this, and my special appreciation as always to Sujata. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, and we would treasure it definitely. To brief about the investment opportunities in the western districts of Tamil Nadu, we have our most respected Gaurav Daga, Associate Vice President at Guidance Bureau. He has worked in Government of Netherlands. He leads Special Initiative Cell comprising work labs, export cell, etc. He is also one-point contact for American companies and associations at the department. So,
office bearers of IACC, Council General Judith Raven, industry captains, ladies and gentlemen, a warm good evening. Thank you, IACC, for inviting us. I think it's an important roadshow conducted within the state to highlight the different strengths of our region. I think the western region is one of the most prominent industrial belt of Tamil Nadu. In my presentation, I will briefly run through the resilience of this region and talk about the investment opportunities for industries to consider investing in this region. Briefly, Tamil Nadu is the second largest economy in the country. It's roughly about $300 billion economy, and our goal is to become 1 trillion economy by 2030. We are the most industrialized state in the country. About 39,000 plus factories are in Tamil Nadu. About 130 plus Fortune 500 companies are in the state. And in terms of demographic, about 50% of our population is urbanized. But that kind of also tells you about the purchasing power and kind of elasticity of the citizens of this state. In terms of industrial infrastructure, we are a power surplus state. And almost 17 gigawatt of power comes from renewable energy sources, which is the highest in the country. And we have a robust infrastructure in terms of connectivity. And as per Government of India NIRF ranking, top 33 colleges out of the 100 colleges are from the state. Specifically of this region, it's the most industrialized region in the state. I think Coimbatore and Tirupur has the highest number of factories in Tamil Nadu, about 15,000 factories and about 40% in total. It's an industrial powerhouse in the sense of there's a lot of industrial parks, ACZ, we have Tidal, Tycel, Sitco, Elcott parks supporting industrial growth. And the sector, I think people have already touched about it, are textiles, precision manufacturing, engineering, wet grinders, food processing, and IT. And all of this is because of the excellent educational system that we have in the region. So about 8 plus universities are there and 70 plus engineering colleges. And if you see in terms of connectivity, this region is well connected across the length and breadth of the state. One can use in terms of port this region. They can either go to the north, to the south, or even to the neighboring states if they are thinking about exports. There is good international connectivity. We have 4 international airports and 6 airports in the state. Again, one of the highest in the country in terms of a state to have airports. And if you see in terms of the companies, you have a large number of homegrown multinational companies. Many of them are the office bearers of the IACC, and then you have foreign multinational coming in. And it's cut across various sectors, from food processing to IT, to manufacturing, to precision engineering, to textiles, and so on. Now, in terms of specifically the export hubs of this region, I've categorized into different geographies. You would see that Coimbatore is an export hub for pump, motors, textiles, coir, auto components, engineering, and IT software. I think this audience does not need that introduction, but for the virtual attendees, this would be helpful. Tirupur in terms of hosiery and textiles. Erode in terms of paper, wet processing, and auto components. Now you also see an emergence of food processing industry there. Karur is a hub for home textiles. Namakkal again, a little bit of home textiles and food processing. Nilgiris for tea, spices, essential oils, herbal products, and so on. And Salem, a mix of food and textiles. And Tirupur, Karur, Pollachi alone contribute more than 750 crore worth of exports every year. So that's a big export going out of this region. And specifically to US, India, as Council General said, I think there's a two-way relationship between the state as well. And Tamil Nadu is one of the key partners for exports from the country. And I've talked about some of the sectors in my previous slide. And if you see in terms of American companies in textiles, all of the international textile brands source from this region, be it Gap, Nike, Levi's, Polo, Walmart, all of them source from Tirupur and all Coimbatore region. And vice versa, if you see FDI investments to Tamil Nadu, we are one of the major benefactors of FDI. About 300 plus American companies are here, worth of $11 billion of investments. And some of the sectors that has come in are automobile, building materials and chemicals. In the last 1 or 2 years, especially by guidance, we have helped attract American companies across various sectors in the state. So you will see First Solar in renewables, Mylan in pharmaceuticals have come to the state. And we are also promoting startups from US to come and invest in Tamil Nadu. So the last 1 year we have we gave grants to about 5 startups worth of about 4 crores. And some of them have come to this region as well. And there is a portal to connect Tamil diaspora, American Tamil diaspora back to India, specifically to Tamil Nadu. I was told that Coimbatore and Toledo are sister cities. I was reading about their histories. I think both of these cities have a similar historical trajectory. Both around the World War I grew in terms of industrial development. After World War II, both of them again had a huge in terms of growth, especially post the great economic depression in the US, and after the boom of the automobile sector in Toledo and that area, a lot of development happened. And specifically here, if you see, there is a linkage between the pump industry and textiles industry, specifically growth of agriculture and cotton. And so in that sense, there is a good complementarities already available between those two cities. And I think a bi-SLA meet through IACC or through guidance could be organized to explore what could be some possible opportunities for the sister cities to kind of grow and continue to expand on that arrangement which is already available. And many of our Western region companies who are from this region have made their presence in the US. So LG Palms, CRI. Now I learned about Roots also having a presence in the US. So again, there is a good two-way relationship between this region and the US. Let me spend a minute or two to talk about the evolution of industries in this region. So traditionally, you will see, as I have said, textiles, food processing, general manufacturing being the key dominant strengths of this region. And often these are first generation, second generation entrepreneurs setting up these industries. And of late, we have seen that because of the strengths of the traditional sectors, there's a huge interest in growth of EV vehicles, auto electronics, renewable manufacturing, and logistics. And if you complement that with Government of India's efforts on PLI and so on, the Government of Tamil Nadu have also taken cognizance of those sectors, be it technical textiles, again, aerospace and defense, medical devices manufacturing. All of these have huge strengths in this region as well. And hence, we have come out with a bouquet of policy options for investors to choose across various sectors. Our approach is let investors choose their policy, their incentives, which suits them best, instead of we telling them this is what is available. So that's our mindset. And what we have categorized specifically for this region is the investment thresholds are very less. So if you're investing far lesser than compared to what you're investing in Chennai, the government would give you both in terms of fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. And that could range from capital, training, R&D investment, R&D incentives, and so on. For this region specifically, the government, I think 2 months back, has announced the foundation stone was laid for setting up the first neo-tidal park, basically getting the IT industry come to tier 2, tier 3 cities of the region. So it's coming up in Tirupur. Codicia and government have joined hands to support startups in the defense sector. We have a multimodal logistics hub coming up in this region. Both Walmart through Flipkart and Amazon has set up huge investments in this region. So that again is a complementarity between us and the US. There is a defense park which is being proposed by SIPCOT in the region, and supporting the advancements of the casting and foundry industry. There's a skill development center that TITCO is working with the industry here. And finally, the MSME sector is supporting the coir, glass, and wet grinding industry for the cluster development. Briefly, I want to also introduce the export cell. At Guidance, we have recently established an export cell, which is to facilitate exports from the region to US and other markets as well. And this cell would act as a matchmaking between different partners, different bodies, different association. And any support that an industry needs in terms of exports, we are always there, and we are always there to help you out. Last but not least, Guidance is the India's most oldest and adept IPA. And recently we got the award from the Department of Trade, from the government of UAE, being the best IPA, so we take pride in that. And we have facilitated about 35 billion worth of investments in the last few years. And we also manage the single window portal, and now we are going to also expand that service to include ease of living. So we will come out with that very soon. With that, I conclude my presentation and happy to take any kind of conversation offline. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. So informative. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, quite interestingly, we have few speakers for today who will be explaining about the business opportunities with US-focused states and cities. Among them, I call upon first Ms. Carrie Arun, Principal Commercial Officer, American Consulate General, Chennai. Since 2017, she served as a commercial officer. Now she is responsible for bilateral commercial affairs between South India and US. Ma'am, we welcome you, and the stage is yours.
I'm short. Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for inviting us to be here this evening. This is my first speaking engagement in my new role. I recently arrived to India a little over 4 weeks ago, and I have been quite impressed by IACC, particularly the Tamil Nadu Chapter, and the activities that you've been putting on. My very first engagement was with Arun in Chennai, and it was quite lovely to see businesses being awarded for their partnership, their exports, their activities in the market. So I think we all know how important the bilateral trade relationship is between the United States and India. We've heard this number multiple times tonight, but in 2021, bilateral trade between the US and India was $159 billion. Can we just, that is you in this room trading with US companies. That is you selling your products and services to the United States. That's US companies selling their products and services here in South India. It's so vitally important that we continue to improve on that number and improve on how we connect businesses with each other so those numbers can grow. So we're part of the US Department of Commerce. That's part of the International Trade Administration. We're the trade promotion arm of the US government. So we work directly with businesses like yours, both in the United States and here in India, to promote exports from the United States and investment to the United States. So from this perspective, we have great connections with US businesses, we have wonderful connections with Indian companies, and really what we do is bring you together. Many of you have found ways to come together without assistance, but we want to make it just a little bit easier for you to partner with each other. So we work through our offices in the United States. We have 105 of those offices across the US that are there to know the US businesses and to understand their export needs. They then come to us and we help connect them to you here in India. And so we love to get to know your business and what you're doing and what you're looking to do potentially with a US company or investing in the United States. So that way when we hear of opportunities, we can work to connect you to those. In addition to facilitating exports from the United States, we have an investment branch that looks at foreign direct investment into the US that's called Select USA. For those of you that aren't aware of this program, it really works to bring all over the world, but in particular here in India, Indian companies to the US. They're looking to open up any sort of facility or office. We have programs that will assist you in your investment. It'll help you with site selection and then also connect you with local partners. And you're going to hear today from a few local state representatives that'll talk about specific incentives and programs that they have at their level. But one of the things that we really are able to do is help connect you with those individual programs in those offices around the country. We have 50 states in the United States plus additional territories. When you're making decisions on where you might choose to go in the US, it's hard to wade through all that data and information. And so we're here to just make that a little bit easier for you and help, again, make those connections back to those appropriate organizations in the US. Coming into this role, I was really surprised to learn investment numbers from India to the US. I think you've heard them already this evening and we've heard them before, but in 2020, Indian investment to the US was $12.7 billion. And it created over 70,000 jobs in the United States. From our perspective, trade is bilateral. Investment to the US promotes business in India. Investment in India promotes business in the United States. And so we're really working to grow those numbers and help you move forward in your endeavors. Each year in the United States, we hold an investment summit that's called Select USA. It generally happens in the May-June timeframe. I'm pleased to announce that the delegation from India last year was the largest delegation we've ever had, with 140 Indian companies who traveled to the event to participate. And we're hoping to hear, while I'm traveling this week, some success stories that are going to come out, especially from Coimbatore, because we had a few companies travel from this region. And so it's so exciting to be able to hear these companies that are interested in participating in these events and participating in activities, who are really making those connections in the US to make investment happen. Next year, we'll have the summit again, and it'll happen in early May. It'll be May 1st to 4th, just outside of Washington, D.C. We're hoping to grow the delegation again. We're hoping to top 150, and I really would love to see a large percentage of that from South India. And so if you're interested in participating, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Sham, and we can talk to you a little bit more about the program and other things that we can do through the Select USA program to help you invest in the United States. So as I mentioned earlier, we look forward to getting to know your business or getting to know your business better. If we can be of assistance through the U.S. Consulate in Chennai or the larger Mission India team, please don't hesitate to contact us, to reach out to us, so we can help you make those connections and relationships to further your goals and your goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So this event is streaming live, we have already told you, and we have people globally connected via Zoom. Interestingly, we have two eminent speakers who have connected via Zoom today, Mr. Paresh Dalwala and Mr. Paul Zito. Both of them will be connected via Zoom. First would be Mr. Paresh Dalwala. This is Chair of the Coimbatore Sister Cities Committee and President of OptiBiz Inc. based out of Ohio, USA, and the Development Office in Mumbai, India. He has 28 plus years of experience in the field of manufacturing, automation, and information systems. We are very happy to welcome you, Mr. Paresh Dalwala.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Yeah. First of all, I'm grateful to IACC for this opportunity and very honored to be present amongst the panelists and the audience. I represent the Toledo, Ohio Sister Cities, and I chair the Sister Cities Committee for the relationship between Toledo and Coimbatore. I just wanted to talk very quickly about the Sister Cities and its mission and goals. So the primary objective of Sister Cities is to foster a relationship between two cities. As I said, I'm from the Toledo, Ohio Sister Cities Committee, and we have an ongoing relationship with Coimbatore. Objective is obviously to foster understanding, acceptance, and celebration of our differences. Provide opportunities for all to experience and explore other cultures. And educate the people of Toledo, the community of Toledo, and engage with them in learning more about other cultures. And then the fourth one, which is very, very important, which is going to really help us, bridge the gap and build, a very tight relationship, which is create an environment for economic development, and strengthen and promote that, right? So with that as an objective, there are many sister city relationships that are formed in Toledo. As you can see here, we have relationships with about 9 sister cities that are really active. There are 2 more in, in the making right now, but Coimbatore is one of them. This agreement with Coimbatore was signed in 2010 between the 2 mayors, and it is still active. And there is a renewed push now with more of an economic interest, trying to engage and build this relationship and let it grow and foster. So the key objective for me specifically as the chair of the Coimbatore Sister Cities Committee is to renew and strengthen our relationship, and then probably have some kind of a roadshow in the future to talk more about Toledo and what we can bring to the table, and then also explore opportunities from Coimbatore and bring in, we have already started talking to companies, and we want to bring in companies and take a delegation to this region if possible. But we want to thank IACC for helping us with these initial efforts. We have a very long road ahead, but with the support of people and entities that you represent, amongst the audience and the panelists, we hope to make good progress. We will need all the help in making this relationship a fruitful one for both Coimbatore and Northwest Ohio, Toledo. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul, who is going to talk more about the Northwest Ohio region. He is from the Regional Growth Partnership. He's the Vice President of International Development. And he's going to explain the different business opportunities that exist in the Northwest Ohio region, and also how we can help with some of those opportunities. Paul?
So we have Mr. Paul Zito joining with us. Thank you, Mr. Paresh. So Mr. Paul Zito is the Vice President of International Development for RGP Northwest Ohio. He has more than 20 years of international business development experience and has worked with companies around the world to help them grow their overseas market. Sir, we are very happy to have you here.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much, Paresh, for a discussion about the sister city relationship between Toledo and Coimbatore. My name is Paul Zito. I'm Vice President of International Development for RGP Northwest Ohio, Regional Growth Partnership. We are a privately funded economic development agency for Toledo and the 20 surrounding counties. We cover a population of about 1.6 million people. My work is to promote exports out of the Toledo region and foreign direct investment into the region. Next slide, please. I'd like to introduce you to the sister city of Coimbatore in the USA, Toledo, Ohio. It's located on the east and west banks of the Maumee River. The Maumee River is the largest of any of the rivers to go into the Great Lakes. And you may know that the Great Lakes is the biggest source of fresh water in the world. Toledo has much in common with Coimbatore, very strong in the automotive industry, machinery, engineering, foundries, and of course, food. Toledo has been known as the glass city for over 130 years ago. In 1888, Libby Glass Company moved its operations from Massachusetts to Toledo to benefit from the cheap cost of natural gas, the abundance of sand to make glass, and the progressive attitude of the business community in Toledo over 130 years ago. From the fine glassware that Libby makes came many innovations in glass, including the first glass bottling machine invented by Owens, Illinois, and its predecessors. Owens, Illinois, headquartered in the Toledo area, is the largest producer of beer bottles in the world. Innovations in glass also came in the form of the automotive industry, You may have heard of Pilkington glass. Many innovations forged by Pilkington in the automotive industry in terms of the shape of automotive glass, the color of automotive glass, the electronics in automotive glass. Pilkington was acquired by one of my favorite Japanese companies, NSG, some 20 years ago, Nippon Sheet Glass. And NSG continues to grow in the Toledo area, not only to make automotive glass, but also to make glass for solar panels for customers such as First Solar, which has its largest operations in the US in the Toledo area. First Solar occupies over more than 1.2 million square feet of production space in the Toledo area. And I'm thrilled that First Solar is also benefiting the Tamil Nadu area as well with its operations there. Other innovations in glass include the invention of fiberglass by Owens Corning, headquartered in Toledo, Ohio. Next slide, please. But Toledo is much more than the glass city. It's very strong in advanced manufacturing, robotics, and automation. As a matter of fact, the Toledo metro area has been ranked as the most automated metro area in the US, due much in part to the automotive industry. The proximity of Toledo being less than 100 kilometers from Detroit makes it an automotive powerhouse, therefore lots of automation. Toledo is historically strong in traditional energy. Toledo is home to 2 oil refineries from that fine Canadian company, Husky. It has another oil refinery about 100 kilometers south. And also within the Toledo region is the corporate headquarters of Marathon Petroleum, the largest company in Ohio based on revenue. The Toledo area in Northwest Ohio is very much a breadbasket and does everything related to food, from production to processing to packaging to distribution. It is home to major operations from large food companies around the world. It is home to the largest ketchup facility in the world from Heinz Ketchup and the largest soup facility in the world from Campbell's Soup. Because of all these things that are made in the Toledo area, transportation and logistics are very important as well. Next slide, please. I mentioned the automotive industry. You may know that Toledo is home to the Jeep. The Jeep was born just a few years before the IACC, 80 years ago, in Toledo. And Toledo remains the only place in the world where the classic Jeep Wrangler is manufactured. Next slide, please. The strength in the automotive industry, renewable energy industry, and others have led to some great innovations and renovations in Toledo. A good example is the old Jeep factory. When I came to Toledo 10 years ago, the old Jeep factory looked like a dump. It was a dump. Thanks to the innovative programs and policies of the City of Toledo, the Toledo Port Authority, the Regional Growth Partnership, Jobs Ohio, and others, we transformed that dump into a beautiful industrial park, now known as Overland Park, and home to major operations from Tier 1 automotive supplier Dana, also headquartered in the Toledo area, fine French company Forcia, and DMS out of Michigan. Next slide, please. Some of the innovation and renovation has also come to the downtown area of Toledo. In this picture, you see the historic steam plant built in 1880 something by famed architect Daniel Burnham. It sat empty for several decades and was an eyesore. Luckily, in the past 5 years, millions and millions have been spent to renovate that central piece of the downtown Toledo area. Next slide, please. Art is very important to Toledo as well. We've been very fortunate that right on the Maumee River in the center of Toledo, over the past year, the largest mural in the US has been painted on some of the grain silos from huge food company ADM, Archer Daniels Midland. This has generated great publicity for Toledo across the USA. Next slide, please. The Toledo Metro Park system has done some wonderful things throughout Toledo, and last year was ranked as the top park system in the USA. This is a rendering of a new installation that will open up in a few months, which is a walkway on the Maumee River in the center of Toledo. Next slide, please. And the Toledo Zoo. Over the past 20 years, the Toledo Zoo has been ranked the top zoo in the USA by newspaper USA Today and others. The Toledo Museum of Art, started by the Glass families over 100 years ago, is a well-respected art museum. Next slide, please. Now to talk about international business and what Ohio and Toledo import. Ohio is the 11th largest importer in the US. A lot of those imports come from our neighbor Canada, from China, Europe, and Mexico. India, in fact, is the 10th largest source of imports into Ohio, with about 200 million of imports coming into the Toledo area. Due to what we make and what we do in the Toledo area, a lot of the imports from India and around the world are dominated by machinery, pharmaceuticals, of course, anything related to automotive, and plastics, iron, and steel. Next slide, please. Toledo is an export powerhouse, and Ohio as well. Ohio is ranked number 7 in terms of the exporting states of the US. Toledo itself exports about $5 billion every year, which is a huge amount for a metro area of the size of Toledo. Those exports have increased about 10% every year, which has ranked Toledo as one of the fastest growing exporting centers in the US. About $50 million a year of goods are exported to India. We have some wonderful resources to help companies export in the Toledo area. Our colleagues at the U.S. Commercial Service, mentioned by Consul General Ravin and by Kerry, can help companies in the Toledo area to export. I'm very proud to announce as well that the U.S. Commercial Service, part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, is opening a Toledo export office in the next few months. That's a great sign for the relevance of Toledo's industry and economy. We have other programs available to help companies resource on a state level from the Ohio Department of Development and other resources. I'm very involved in an export training program by the name of Export Success, which has won awards. Next slide, please. Exports are so strong out of the Toledo area that Global Trade Magazine has ranked Toledo as being one of the top exporting metro areas in the country. Next slide, please. In terms of foreign direct investment, or FDI, which is the major part of the work that I do, we have over 250 facilities from overseas companies in the 20 counties that we cover, with a population of about 1.6 million people. They employ over 40,000 people. Some of the largest foreign investors, and my favorite, include Magna from Canada, a tier 1 automotive supplier, KUKA, a famed German robotics and automation company. There's also Trèves from France, Destaire from Belgium, Topia from Japan, Hanon and Knox from Korea, and of course, Stellantis, formerly known as FCA, formerly known as Fiat. It's hard to keep track of what they're calling themselves lately, which is in fact Jeep, has over 5,000 employees in the Toledo area. Next slide, please. In terms of FDI, foreign investment from India, in Ohio, there are over 33 facilities that are owned by Indian companies that employ over 2,800 people. We have very strong presence from Tata, a consultancy operation in Cincinnati, which is south of Toledo, and Tata Steel in Youngstown in the eastern part of the state. Over the past few years, I've been very fortunate to work with Erode Manufacturing, whose partners actually come from Coimbatore. They acquired Martin Machine in Bowling Green, Ohio, just a few years ago. Great company, great people. I hope to help other Indian companies as I have Erode and Martin Machine in the future. Next slide, please. What makes Toledo a good place for business? A central location. It's easy to get goods to most of the major markets in the US within a 1 day's drive. Next slide, please. Toledo, as mentioned, located on the Great Lakes, so there's an abundance of water for manufacturing processes. Toledo is also located at the true crossroads of America. I'm sure people in other states will disagree with that, but Interstate 75 is the largest north-south freeway in the US in terms of traffic and freight that is carried, crossed by Interstate 8090 east-west, also the largest route across the US, Toledo located right there. Next slide, please. What Toledo's done in economic development has been recognized around the world. Site Selection magazine, generally regarded as the Bible of economic development, has ranked Toledo as the top size metropolitan area for new and expanded facilities over the past 2 years. First Solar, I mentioned, founded in Toledo and growing at a tremendous rate. This slide is out of date. Yesterday, an additional $185 million was announced that will be invested at the First Solar facility in the Toledo area. We've had great sporting events such as the Solheim Cup. For any golfers out there, the LPGA, the Ladies League, had its major tournament in Toledo last year. And again, we've been ranked as a top exporter in the US. Next slide, please. In terms of what we can do to help companies from Coimbatore and around the world, as mentioned, we are a privately funded economic development agency for the Toledo area. We are one of the 6 regional partners of Jobs Ohio, which is the official economic development agency for Ohio. Next slide, please. Our work in terms of foreign direct investment is generally to help a company from India or anywhere else in the world to find a site or building on which and in which to make their goods. Also to help them with incentives from the state government and other sources. Grants to help with the purchase of machinery and equipment or to help with training costs, low interest loans, and tax credits and other incentives that might be available. We can help in other ways as well, introduce you to qualified banks, accounting firms, law firms that have experience dealing with Indian companies and the Indian market. We can refer you to the local economic development agencies in the community in which you want to open a facility or expand a new facility. And in many cases, we can introduce you to suppliers and other partners. And again, we provide export assistance, and that's open to any company that has an operation in the Toledo area. Next slide, please. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish that I were there with you this evening. I'd like to thank the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce for this roadshow, and I hope to meet you all in the future. I'd also like to thank Consul General Ravin and Carrie and their team and what they do for US-India trade. They're a vital part of what we do. I wish you a wonderful evening and a fantastic dinner, and I hope to see you all sometime soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We extend our thanks to Mr. Paul Zito and Mr. Paresh Dalwala. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much, sir. Next would be Mr. Rahul Padmanabha, Director of Investment, North Carolina. His accomplished areas of expertise include overseas investments, cross-border trade, business planning, market entry strategy, etc. So we are very glad to welcome you to the dais, sir.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Good evening to all the dignitaries, industry captains, and all the participants. Thank you very much for having me here. Once again, my name is Rahul. I represent the state of North Carolina. I'm based in India, but the primary mandate of the office is to promote foreign direct investments from India into North Carolina. Now, when I say promote, there are different ways and means in which we do that. Of course, we are open for partnerships. Of course, we help in connections with suppliers and the distributors and so on. So FDI is sort of the larger name given to the office. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to sort of give you a geographical orientation and the demographic orientation of North Carolina, sort of give you a very high-level view of what North Carolina is, what are the opportunities that are available, what kind of workforce, talent, what kind of universities are there, and so on. So this is actually my first slide, and this is one of my favorite slides as well, because this is where we show where North Carolina stands among all the different states in the US. We were consistently ranked number one in the last 3 years. Even from a site selection perspective or some of the other rating agencies, we've been consistently ranked one among the top 3. And this year, in 2022, CNBC actually ranked us number 1. That happened just a few months ago. So that's a really proud moment for us. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why we got to this point. So just to give you a sort of a very broad overview before any agency takes up this task of ranking the state, they go through a number of parameters like ease of doing business, regulatory environment, lifestyle, standard of living, and universities, and so on. So these parameters were considered before arriving at this ranking. Now, where is North Carolina? There's a trouble for the image to come up, but basically it stands right in the middle of East Coast. So it's a very strategic location for companies sort of looking at a very central locality to start their operations. And within 1,000 kilometers approximately, you have access to close to 200 million customers as your potential target. So that's a very, very important factor to be considered when you're looking to start your business in the US. I wanted to show you one of the roadways that connects the entire East Coast and the West Coast as well. Basically, the I-95, which runs through the entire East Coast from the north to the south, and I-40 that basically links North Carolina to all the way till the West Coast, California. That's a very important stretch in terms of connectivity. And I-85. I can sort of draw a comparison of what I-85 is to the current scenario, which is, the western region of Tamil Nadu, the Coimbatore region, and everything. It's sort of the similar, it's a similar concept there, where you have a lot of manufacturing that's located right on I-85. Again, we are connected extremely well by the seaports, Port of Wilmington and the Port of Morehead City. These are the two most important seaports that connects North Carolina to the rest of the world and within the US as well. 4 major international airports that connects pretty much all the major European and US cities. A little bit about the workforce of what kind of talent is available in North Carolina. It is home to one of the largest manufacturing workers in North Carolina. 45,000 plus engineers in North Carolina. That's again, when we are talking about a very dynamic company, from India or from anywhere in the globe, one of the most important requirements for them, along with the site selection, along with the land available and everything, is the availability of talent. That is one of the most key areas that we have addressed. And again, in terms of universities, North Carolina is home to some of the top universities in the US, with a lot of R&D partnerships. There's a lot of collaborative efforts that's been undertaken with the industry and academia. So there's plenty of scope for companies who are looking to come to North Carolina and sort of establish their own curriculum or syllabus. In my recent projects, one of the companies from Pune, Bharat Forge, recently set up their manufacturing plant to manufacture lightweight chassis in North Carolina. And one of the key requirements for them was talent. And in talent, they wanted a specific sort of a curriculum that had to be inculcated within the community colleges. And the colleges came forward. This was a grand success. So there are plenty of opportunities for such kind of collaborative efforts. These are some of the top priority sectors for North Carolina. Again, there's the reason why I've sort of bringing this slide is to show the diversity and the possibility of a sort of a cross-pollination that happens between different industries. I'll give you the same example, Bharat Forge. They are heavily into automotive, but that's not their only product line. They also have defense, they also have aerospace related components. So it becomes very easy for a company to sort of come and establish themselves in an ecosystem which supports this kind of diversification. So North Carolina in that aspect is really, really very, very interlinked and interconnected. So that makes it very easy for companies to easily diversify. A little bit about the textiles and non-wovens. There are more than 33,000 the people who are directly employed in this sector. 660, over 600 establishments that's there in this sector. So your entry, again, specifically talking about the textile ecosystem, you are entering an ecosystem that's already present. There is already enough number of companies and establishments. There is an established supplier chain, distribution line. So you will be one among them if you were to choose to set up something here. The North Carolina's Wilson College is perhaps the only college that is dedicated for a textile, that's focused on textile. It's the only, for the world's first and the only accredited institution, and they have a lot of programs that are linked. Again, like I said, they have a collaborative approach with the academy, with the industry as well. It's home to the Association of Non-Woven Fabric Industry. Again, the reason why I'm sort of trying to show this slide is there's an ecosystem of established companies, supplier chain. You have a good university that is already present there, and the associations that are present. So cumulatively, you belong to an ecosystem which gives you a great opportunity to grow. Some of the well-known companies established in North Carolina. Now, a little bit about the financial aspects and why North Carolina. I mean, this was one of the important reasons for why North Carolina was ranked number one in terms of business. The corporate income tax in North Carolina is 2.5%, which is the lowest among all the states who charge a corporate income tax. Now, a lot of people might wonder, there are states which do not charge a corporate income tax. So to that very point, for example, there are states which charge gross receipt tax, which is much higher than the corporate income tax. So eventually, there's tax in one form or another going out. But in case of North Carolina, it is very straight. It's 2.5%. It is the lowest. We've come a long way from, for example, 2013, 14, we were close to 7%. And by the year 2030, we are planning to become a zero tax state. Again, this is in the pipeline, not to be quoted again. So it's a progressive state. It's a state that is looking positively for companies to come and invest, grow with the state. A comparative analysis of the tax structure in some of the neighboring states that you can see for yourself. Again, the lowest in pretty much all the categories: corporate income tax, individual income tax, sales tax, one among the lowest in the whole of United States, and especially among the neighboring states. Now, how can we help you grow with us? How can we make this a reality in terms of growing trade and investment between India and the US? So we belong to ADPNC Group, which is basically a sort of a private wing of the North Carolina Department of Commerce. We are here to support companies who are looking to come and establish in North Carolina. There are a few different ways in which we can actually help companies. So for example, at a very initial stage, if you're looking at data points, if you're looking at insights, if you're looking at analysis, we are there to help you with that. And at the second stage, when you're looking at making those connections, if you want introductions to the banks, if you want introductions to the accountants, site selection, and you're really sort of in between roads where you don't know which would be the best, again, we will make sure all those comparative analysis are given to you. And I was just talking to Mr. Prabhu just a little while before the session started. This opportunity is there for small and medium-sized companies. It is very easy to start business in US in general, and particularly in North Carolina. There are a lot of opportunities. So if you have a sort of a plan in mind, if you want to get connected to some distributors, if you want to get connected to the supplier chain, I want to understand more about the ecosystem, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm available. These are my coordinates, but happy to connect once this session is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Next would be, we are very glad to have Ms. Supriya Khanedkar, Director, Pennsylvania Trade and Investment. As a part of Investment Attraction Program, she works with Indian companies to help them set up facilities in Pennsylvania. Ma'am, we are very fortunate to have you here today.
Namaskaram and good evening to everyone, the dignitaries on the dais and all the audience. First of all, I would like to extend our appreciation to Indo-American Chamber of Commerce and the IACC Roadshow Convening Committee for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much. We have a long-standing cooperation with Indo-American Chamber. We truly value their support. In fact, I remember that we were here in 2019, so I'm glad that IACC is once again organizing the in-person events, and it gave us the opportunity to visit the city of Coimbatore. Let me quickly tell you about our office and the long relationship between India and Pennsylvania. In fact, Pennsylvania's leadership saw the bilateral trade and investment opportunities in India early on. As a result, it was way back in 2001 that Pennsylvania decided to set up an overseas office. In fact, Pennsylvania was the first state of US to have a full-fledged trade and investment office. I mean, initially in 2001, we started as a trade office, and in 2008, as we saw the Indian companies are interested in exploring opportunities in US market, we were given the portfolio of FDI attraction. Initially, I remember when we used to visit Pennsylvania in 2001, 2, 3, we had to do, I would say, generating awareness about the opportunities in Indian market. In last 2 decades, things have changed totally. Now, Pennsylvania companies come to us asking for help, and they already are aware about the opportunities. In fact, many of them are ready with their homework, so it makes our task very easy. But I would say that this is all because the opportunities in India are exploding. We have also seen in last 1.5 decade, the investment opportunities for Indian companies that are looking at going overseas are also increasing. In fact, here are some of the numbers. I would say India has a significant number of share in the FDI in Pennsylvania. Some people would think that it is only the IT and services or the technology companies that have presence, but that's not the case. In fact, the next slide here, you would see that many of these, I'm sure the logos you would be very familiar, that these are, some of them are manufacturing companies which have presence in Pennsylvania. So it's not just the Infosys and HCLs, but also companies like UPL, or I would say QME has presence in Pennsylvania, or Pidilite. And all these, I mean, many of these companies have entered the US market or Pennsylvania through variety of ways. I mean, some of them came and invested in the greenfield projects. Some of them came through mergers and acquisitions. For example, Pidilite came through acquisition of a Pennsylvania-based company called Art Sargent. We have also seen during the last 20 years, there is a lot of positive outcome between trade between Pennsylvania and India. There has been almost 9 to 10 times increase in exports from Pennsylvania to India. I remember in 2001, Pennsylvania's exports to India were less than 100 million, and now I think they are more than a billion. So this is a remarkable, I would say, a positive change that we have seen in last 2 decades. Similarly, exports from India to Pennsylvania have also increased. In 2020, India was Pennsylvania's 13th largest source of imports. Education is one of the very important sectors. I'm glad to mention that Pennsylvania colleges and universities have been attracting Indian students for both graduate as well as undergraduate programs. I'm sure all of you would be familiar with names like Pennsylvania State University, which is one of the top 10 public universities in United States, one of the Ivy Leagues like University of Pennsylvania, Drexel, Carnegie Mellon, University of Pittsburgh, Lehigh University, and the names go on and on. So all these universities are very active in Indian market, not only for recruiting students, but they have also forged partnerships with Indian educational institutions. In fact, Indian students in Pennsylvania's colleges and universities are the second highest amongst the international students. I would say from colonial times, people have been attracted towards Pennsylvania not only for the religious freedom that was guaranteed by its founding father, William Penn, but also because of the unique economic opportunities and lifestyle available in the state. Today also, Pennsylvania, with its strong and very diverse economy, well-developed infrastructure, highly skilled and committed workforce, is attracting domestic and international investors. Pennsylvania offers everything that's needed for business to grow and flourish. We have observed that Indian companies wanting to establish presence in Pennsylvania have a few expectations. They are looking for access to market, being closer to the customer, access to raw material or closer to supplier, good infrastructure, access to talented workforce, cost of doing business, and above all, quality of life. In fact, I'm glad to mention that Pennsylvania meets all these criteria and a few more. Once you establish your operations in Pennsylvania and you become a Pennsylvania company, you have access to Pennsylvania's international business development network. which is in fact the largest network in amongst the all 50 states, oldest and largest, because some of our offices in Mexico and Canada are more than 30 years old. So by being a Pennsylvania company, you get access to this export network and you can explore opportunities in other international markets. In the past, Pennsylvania's vision made it the center of industrial revolution. Today, Pennsylvania is leading technology revolution fueled by ideas and breathtaking innovations. If your company has plans for expansion in North American market, then Pennsylvania offers you very compelling reasons to establish your presence there. And our office will be happy to assist you to make your journey easier and faster. Here are our coordinates. My sister Sushma Kanetkar and myself, we represent Pennsylvania. I will be here after the event, so feel free to talk to me and also reach us through email if you don't get a chance to talk to me today. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all speakers for such an insight in each area and for the thorough professional approach. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for a quick interactive session. Kindly introduce yourself and do mention whom you need to interact with. Thank you.
I think the evening, it's a long evening and all of them are a little tired and then... Right. So probably you can interact with the dignitaries who will be with us for some time at the dinner. So you can ask queries, interact with them, share your inputs. So with this, now let's move on to the last phase of this session, which is presentation of mementos. On behalf of IACC, we would like to honor and recognize the dignitaries who are present here with us today. Now I would like to invite Dr. Shaktivel, Chairman of Government Affairs Committee of IACC, President FIO, to present a memento to our chief guest, Ms. Judith Raven, U.S. Consul General. I request Chairman Mr. Arun Miranda to present a memento to our keynote speaker, Mr. Sanjay Jayawardhanavelu, Chairman and Managing Director of Lakshmi Machine Works Limited. I would request Mr. K. Ramaswamy, Chairman of Roots Group of Companies, to present a memento to our Ms. Carrie Arun, our Principal Commercial Officer. I would like to invite Mr. Joshi Paul, our branch committee member, to present a memento to Mr. Gaurav Daga, Associate Vice President of Guidance, Tamil Nadu. May I request Mr. M.N. Padmanabhan, our Executive Committee member, to present a memento to Mr. Rahul Padmanabha of North Carolina. I would like to invite Dr. O.E. Balasubramaniam, Director of Roots Groups, to present a memento to Ms. Supriya Kanetkar, Director of Pennsylvania Trade and Investment.
To thank as a culture, a beautiful gesture of humanity and peace to the soul, may I invite Mr. Prabhu Bala, Director Precision Equipments, Vice Chairman IACC Tamil Nadu, to thank all of them officially.
Good evening, and I think I get lucky again to do the word of thanks, and I'll try to do my best. Definitely a fabulous evening, gentlemen, right? You all agree? And I'd like to thank everyone here who has taken time to come here for the event and making it a grand success. Recently, I was hearing this song. It's a Tamil hip-hop song. It starts with Kovina Gettudanga appadinu. So, nariya per kettirupinga. I think adu vandu Kongun maathiralam. So, definitely it's a vibrant place. And in fact, Kongu region is a pride of Tamil Nadu. The confluence of various industries, what you have seen from today, textile to foundries to healthcare to education. So beautiful combination of industries, and of course, agriculture as well. And it is really a birthplace for innovation and entrepreneurship. So I would like everyone to join me to give a round of applause to the members present here from the Kongu region, the businessmen, the entrepreneurs, and the professionals. And simple சொல்லணும்னா Kongu regionல வந்து சத்தம் நிறைய வராது, only pure performance. I'd like to thank our CG, who has taken time to come from Chennai, Judith Ravan, colleagues, Carrie Arun, Sham. I'd like to thank our President FIFO, Dr. Shakti Vel, and our Chairman for Government Affairs, Arun Miranda, our Chairman, Dr. Sanjay and Mr. Ramasamy from Roots. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sanjay Jayavardhanavelu from LMW, Gaurav from the Guidance Bureau, and Rahul, Supriya, and the other officials who presented today from the various states of the US. Yeah, and Manish, yeah. And more importantly, we have to thank our principal partners, the Roots Group, who have really meticulously planned this event. They've been working for the last 2 months, and it's a fabulous event, and definitely this really sets a stage for many more events. I think this is going to be the first of the event, and then we will do this every year, and I'm sure we will get a lot of support from this region. And definitely it has turned everybody's eyes towards Coimbatore and the Kongu region, for sure. I thank our hospitality partner, LMW, all the associate partners here, Avalon, Global Coconut Farmer Produce Company Limited, who have also placed all the beautiful teniras in your table. And in fact, they have a guided tour tomorrow. Mr. Balasubramaniam, who is the managing director, is here. You can talk to him if you want to go and do the tenira tasting. Kotak Mahindra Bank, PH Project, all the exhibiting partners. In fact, today even, I had calls from some of my friends who came to know about this event saying that, hey Prabhu, can you check if we can have an additional stall? I said, the space is out. And there were, even today, we had participants registering. And I think next event will be probably like a one-day event with a lot of technical programs and a big gala exhibition, I'm sure. I think it's really interesting. Propel, our exhibition partners, HDFC Bank, KPM, Krish Carbon, Penguin Engineering, Pramura Software, and SBI. You have seen their stalls. Please do take some time to go to their stalls. They have beautiful exhibits, beautiful products. And also we've been supported by the Guidance Bureau, Sodatech, Circor, and the Precision Group. So I thank everyone for being here, and since we couldn't have much time for question and answer, I welcome all the participants to meet all the guests and then exchange information and do network. Thank you very much, and I always, as usual, welcome you for the cocktail and dinner. Thank you very much. Vanakkam.
Yeah, thanks to Paresh and Paul Zito for joining with us. Sorry we couldn't present a memento. You are in the US. Hope when you are here, we would be happy to recognize and honor you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Let's raise up for national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do honor us by joining for dinner and cocktails. Good day and good night.